solving equations by balancing. In today's lesson, we will be looking at solving equations by using the balancing method. We're going to start off by picture representations, just so you get an understanding of what the balancing method actually is, and then we'll move away from that and do it without drawing the actual balance scales, etc. Okay, so we're going to start off with a pretty simple, straightforward question. So x plus 3 equals 5. Okay, so let's focus on the balancing method first, because obviously this will then lead on to more harder questions and you can understand what the balancing method actually is. So I'm just going to draw myself some scales. Okay, right, if I can. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, okay, and then I'm going to have, just pardon me for my drawings. Okay. From there. Right, okay, right, there are my scales. Okay, pardon me for my drawing. Right, let's choose a different color pen. So we'll choose red. Okay, so x plus 3 equals 5. So I've got a box here. Okay, and that's going to say x, and I've just got plus 3. Okay, let's just say plus 3 circles. 1, 2, 3, and it equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, is that exactly the same? Yep, it's not, is it? I've got x plus 3 here, and I've got 5 here. You've got to do the same when you balance the scales. Now, I want to be just left with what x is on here. Yeah, I just only want to be left with what x is. I've got 3 of these. Now, if I just want to be left with what x is, what I need to do is I need to take off these 3, don't I? I need to take off these 3. But when I do that, my scales are going to not be the same because I've taken 3 off here. So this side here is going to drop down, and I haven't done exactly the same there. So in order to keep the scales equal, I have to do the same on both sides. So this is why when you're solving equations and you are told in lessons by your teachers, you do the same on both sides, it's because we are balancing the scales, you're balancing. So if I take off 3, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my eraser and I'm going to take that, and take that away. Well, I've got to take off 3 here as well. Okay, there we are. And you can see I'm left with x equals 2. I'm going to get rid of that as well so it doesn't confuse you. X equals 2. And is that right? Let's have a look. My equation is x plus 3 equals 5. Well, if x is 2, does 2 add 3 equal 5? Yes, it does. And we have solved this by balancing the equation. Let's have a look at another example like this. Okay. So again, I'm going to say next one is x minus 4 equals 5. Okay. So again, I'm going to have my little scale. I'm going to draw it like I did before. Okay, that's the base there. I'm going to have that there. I'm going to have, okay. So I'm going to draw myself a little box here. That's x. I've got 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what I need to do actually is label them as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then I've got minus 4. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, and minus 1. Okay, so, okay, now I have got x and I've got minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 here. And I just want to be left with what x is. So obviously I need to get rid of these minus 1s, don't I? Now, how do you get rid of a minus 1? Well, you've got to add, haven't you? Do the opposite. So if I take this away, I've got to then put it on the other side to make it the same. So if I get rid of 4 of these, here, get rid of that one, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Remember, you do the opposite if you want to get rid of it. Well, I've got to add 4 onto here. 1, 2, 3, 4, There you are. Balancing, you did it the same on both sides. I had to add 4 here, so I've added 4 here because minus 4, add 4 was 0. Yeah, I added 4. So when you add 4 to a negative 4, it becomes 0. Same as temperature. If it's minus 4 degrees Celsius outside and the temperature gets, increases by 4 degrees, it becomes 0. So now x equals, well, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have got 9 here altogether. So you have balanced the equation. Okay, so let's do another one like this. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got y add 7 equals 16. Okay, so again, draw my scales. Okay, I'm going to have a box here. It says y. I've got a 7 there. Oops, did not mean for that to happen. Okay. Let's make this zoom in if I can. Sometimes the screen plays up a little bit for some reason. It's not letting me. Oh, it has now. Okay, so it's 7, isn't it? So let's do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and 16 here if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I just want to be left with y here. I need to get rid of all of these. So if I get rid of 1 here, I've got to do the same here. Get rid of 1, I've got to do the same here. Get rid of 1 here, I've got to do the same here. You're balancing. You've got to do the same both sides to balance the scales. Get rid of 1 there. Get rid of 1 there. Get rid of 1 here. Get rid of 1 here. Get rid of 1 here. And get rid of 1 here. Then get rid of 1 here and get rid of 1 here, and we have balanced the equation. We've done exactly the same on both sides. So y is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Y is equal to 9. That is correct because 9 add 7 is 16. Okay. Rightio. Let's have a look at a different example then. Okay, let's have a look at 3x plus 1 equals 13. Okay, slightly trickier this time. So we've got a two-step equation this time. So I'm just going to draw myself some scales. Okay. Okay, right. I've got 3x plus 1. So I'm just going to draw myself x. Let's draw it somewhere different. I've got 1, 2, 3, x, x, x. Okay. Plus 1, okay, plus 1, just 1 there, equals 13. Okay, so let's see if we can draw 13, 1. Oops, did not mean for that to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, right, first of all, nice and simple and straightforward. It's 3x plus 1 equals 13. So I just want to know what 1x is. But first of all, let's get rid of this circle here. So if I get rid of this circle here, okay, I've got to get rid of 1 on this side. There we are. We've balanced that. Now, this is the problem here. What do you suggest we do here? So at the moment, I've got 3x here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on this side here. So obviously, we've got 3 x's and we only want 1x. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to divide by 3, aren't we? So we're going to share this out. We're going to divide by 3, and then we're going to divide by 3 on this side. And obviously, if we divide by 3, these go away. Yeah, so you're just left with 1x. We've divided by 3, shared it out. And if I divide that by 3, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 divided by 3, we are left with 4. So that goes. Okay, now that could have been drawn in a different way to make it easier for you to have a look at. So I'm just going to draw that a different way so you can see the two different ways. I'll draw myself another scale like this. Okay. Okay, and what we had here, was X, X, and X, didn't we? And then we had 12 things left here. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and we're going to divide this by 3. That's 1 part goes away, 2 part goes away, and we're just left with 1 out of 3. Okay, and that's, you can look at it that way as well. So we've got X equals 4. That's the balancing method. So whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. Let's do one more example using scales, and then we need to have a look at doing this without the scales. Okay, let's have a look at 2x plus 1 equals 3. Okay, so again, if I draw my scales, okay, I'm going to have 2 x's, x, x, I've got a plus 1 there, and I'm going to have 3 here. Okay, first of all, we're going to get rid of the circle, which is the plus 1, so we're just left with x's. Okay, then we've got 2x equals 2. Right, we just need to divide everything by 2, so we should half everything. If I half this, I get rid of that. Half this, I get rid of that, so I'm just left with x equals 1. Okay, because that is equal to 1. Right, let's have a look at some questions and do balancing on both sides then, without doing the scales. Right, 4x minus 7 equals 29. Okay. Okay, this line here is your balancing line. Okay, so that means that whatever you do on one side of the line, you have to do on the other side of the line. So the trick is you always get rid of the number first, and the thing that's with the x you get rid of at the end. Okay, that's the last thing you get rid of. So at the moment, the number 7 does not have an x with it, so we get rid of that. But that's not minus 7. That's not just 7, it's minus 7. So to get rid of a minus 7, you do the opposite. You are going to add 7, but you do the same on both sides. That is your balancing line. So let's do 29 add 7 then, and I end up with 36. Here, minus 7 add 7, that disappears. I'm just left with 4x. Now, 4x is 36, that means 4 lots of x is 36. Well, 4 times what is 36? X is 9. Or you could say you divided by 4 on both sides, yeah? Because 4 divided by 4 is 1x, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. Let's have a look at a different example. This time, let's have a look at it in a different way. 9 add 6x equals 33. Okay, draw your balancing line this time. So whatever you do on one side of the line, you've got to do on the other side of the line. Remember, get rid of the number first, that's on its own, and then get rid of the thing with the x afterwards. So the number 9 is a thing that we need to get rid of. So how do you get rid of the number 9? I subtract 9, do the opposite. So you do exactly the same on the other side. So 9 take 9 here, nothing, left with 6x. 33 take away 9 is 24. Okay, you can see the balancing, can't you? Subtract 9, you're doing exactly the same on both sides. Here, 6 lots of x is 24. So how do you get rid of a times by 6? You divide by 6, yeah, just to get one of them. Do the same on the other side. X equals 4. Okay, we can check that. Let's do a check, okay? I'm going to do that in red. 9 add 6x is 33. Well, 9 add, x is 4, so 6 times 4 would be 24. 24 add 9 is indeed 33. That is correct. Okay, let's have a look at a different example then. Let's have a look at now 51 equals 6x minus 3. So just different ways the questions written. So again, you do your balancing line. So remember to get rid of the number without the x first. So in this situation, it is -3. How do you get rid of -3? Well, you need to add 3 on both sides. So 51 add 3 is 54. I've got 6x here, and -3 add 3 becomes nothing. You do the same on both sides. So 54 equals 6x. Well, you can write it the other way if you wish to do so. Some people like to change it here. It doesn't actually matter. So you divide by 6 because 6 divided by 6 is 1. And x equals 9. Okay. Let's have a look at something slightly more difficult and different. So some of these questions you can draw out if you want to draw it on the scale, but it's the understanding behind it that helps you actually solve the equation. So for example, you might have something like this, and this is quite hard and difficult to draw. X divided by 2 plus 3 equals 5. Okay, so again, first things first, draw your balancing line. Again, the tip, remember, get rid of the number that doesn't have the x with it first. So the number that doesn't have the x is 3. How do you get rid of plus 3? I subtract 3 on both sides. So 5 take away 3 is 2. 3 take 3, nothing, and I'm left with x over 2. Now, again, this is where balancing comes in. How that line there means divide, so that's a divide by 2. How do I get rid of divide by 2? Well, I do the opposite. I times by 2. Times by 2 on both sides. So this is going to get rid of the 2, so I'm just left with x. 2 times 2 is 4. And you can check that because my original equation was x over 3 plus 3 is 5. Was it? Oh, no, it wasn't that. It was x over 2. So if I replace that with 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 add 3 is indeed 5, and that works. Okay. Again, let's do another one like this. Let's do 9 plus x over 7 equals 12. Okay, so again, first things first, draw your balancing line on your equal sign. Get rid of the number that doesn't have the x with it. In this situation, it's a number 9. Okay, so 9 take a 9 here would be nothing. I'm just left with x over 7. And then 12 minus 9 is 3. This situation here, that means divide by 7. You do the opposite to get rid of something. So I'm going to times by 7, times by 7. And it's quite important that you show these steps here to the examiner because you're showing that you're doing the same on both sides. So here, these 7s get rid of each other. You're just left with x. And 3 times 7 is 21. Okay. And you can check that. Let's check it. That was the original equation. We said x is 21. So 9 add what's 21 divided by 7 is 3. 9 add 3 is indeed 12. So that is correct. Okay. Let's have a look at another example then. Let's do 12x plus 18 equals 66. Okay. Draw your line down the middle. So remember again, get rid of the number that doesn't have the x with it. It's 18 this time. Minus 18 because 18 take 18 is going to go. I'm just left with 12x here. 66 take away 18 is 48. So 12x is 48. How do I get rid of the 12 from the x? So 12x means 12 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 12, divide by 12. 12x divided by 12 is just 1x. 48 divided by 12 is 4. And there we are. We have answered the question correctly. Okay, so that was the balancing method. So the understanding at the start was using the scales in picture form so you could see. And then obviously you use that with this method here, and this is a popular method in the GCSE exams and in schools. Your teachers will teach it to you. It's balancing, so whatever you do on one side of the balance line, you've got to do on the other side, and then you can cross things off, etc. Remember to include these steps here. for the examiners to see. You get bonus, or you get marks for that if they see that in the exam. Obviously, if you've shown that as a working out, but you actually subtracted, added incorrectly, you would get the method mark in the exam because you showed that. So make sure you do that in the exam. And that was today's lesson on balancing equations. Thank you for watching.